What's up, guys? Let's get to it. We got the Orca chassis here. I know that it's something that a lot of y'all have commented on and had some questions here and there, so I figured I'd do a video kind of better explaining what all is kind of going on here, maybe some tips and tricks, and a little bit of explanation as far as assembly goes. So got mine right here. I've got this other one that I've put together just for some demonstration purposes. So let's see, what are you going to get whenever you open the bag? When you open the bag, you will find the roof piece. You'll find those side rails. The design is on one side of this, not both. That's how it works with the printer. So just be mindful when you're putting it together. Make sure that you have the side you want out. Maybe you want the not shiny side, I don't know. Up to you, it's yours. So you will also receive 2 of the small cross member pieces. You'll receive 1 of the large. You can see it here. I actually didn't put it in this one yet, but you can see it right in there. It's the larger cross member piece. So as far as those goes, these holes along here, you got 3 right here, you got 4 right here. They're all kind of modular. You make it work wherever you think it fits best. For me, running this brushless setup, I wanted somewhere to put the ESC and the receiver. So in this one, that's what I chose to do, was place my FuryTech Lizard Pro back here. And I've got the Fly Sky receiver sitting right there in the middle, mounted on the bottom 2 holes of the 3 right here on one of these small cross members. Depending on how you do your motor setup, that may not be ideal for you. I don't have one set up at the moment, but I have put one together where I ran the skid flipped so that the motor was facing backwards. It did open up a lot of space right here. Maybe ideal for someone who is running a stock setup, being that with the factory SCX24 components, you're going to be, everything's more back here. You can see it's open right here. There is space to mount it on some of these holes here. You just have to play around with it, see what works for you. I really wanted to make this thing where it would fit as much as possible. The only limitation that I would say was unavoidable and still getting the rest of the results that I wanted going into this, it is not super wide. As you can see, the stock motor fits in there. If you're running, let's say, an aftermarket one like the Mofo, Torque Beast, Buzzsaw, any of those, the mount for those does stick out about 1 millimeter farther. It will press on the rail some, but you should be fine. I've ran one like that and I didn't break anything on it. If you do feel the need to trim that rail some, perfectly fine. Definitely want to see y'all cutting these things up too, man. Like, take a Dremel to it and see what you can make happen. As far as brushless setups go, so this here is the FuryTech Venom. A lot of folks are running that just because it is one of the more affordable options right now. I actually threw this in here because I had another one burn up. It was a pancake style motor. I don't think that it was a manufacturing issue. It was a Mofo pancake motor. Nick is an awesome dude. He makes a great product down there. Had the pleasure of going down there to actually see his place, and it's super awesome, super great guy, super great products. I'm super hard on things, and I do believe that it was an issue. Me trying to mount it a couple of times back in the day. I've had that motor for over a year. And I've given it every bit of hard time you could give a motor. It finally took a kaput on me whenever I was out at Mountain Adventure RC. Shout out to them. Go get some cool RTI ramps from them on their website. I was out there this past weekend doing some testing, trying to get some pictures and stuff. Had a few of y'all come out and hang out with me. That was super cool. A couple folks got to drive to Orca. It was super fun. Hope to do it again soon. Going out there, we did end up frying that mofo motor. So I had this one in another rig with me, so I threw it in there just so we could keep playing with it. Honestly, it's for as heavy of a setup as I like to run. Honestly, I haven't weighed this one since I've changed a few things. But I mean, you can see that mofo brass servo up there, the ISO axles, got the RC Steve brass steering on there. It's a heavy rig. Front of the brass wheels, got aluminum in the back. Super heavy. Got another mofo back here. The black label, super awesome. And I mean, it does its job. I think it's a little underpowered, but if you're running something more lightweight or using, you know, plastic axles, aluminum axles, you know, carbon fiber wheels or aluminum wheels, you'll be perfectly fine with this. Also, shout out to Acres Engineering. It's a super awesome company, and to be honest with you, I don't hear as much as I think I should about those guys. I've never really talked to them at all. However, I was searching for a motor mount a while back and ended up finding this one. They have this little low profile mount. It is the coolest thing. I do believe it's titanium. This comes with those little adapters there for the space you need, but it's super lightweight for any of you comp guys looking to save some of that sprung weight. That is a super great option, and they have literally never let me down. So shout out to Acres Engineering for that. Love that they're creating some really awesome stuff for our micro community. Another one that'll work just perfect with this is the mofo mount. For their pancake motor, it does center everything. I do not have one of the OG Komodo motors. I really want to try to test one on here. Been looking for some. If you have one you want to trade for something, hit me up. I'm willing to work out something with you so we can do some testing. But from what I've seen, it does mount it very symmetrical. It's very centered in the rig, and I think that would be perfect. An example of one that I have tried and I just don't think there's a way to do it without cutting is going to be if you're using the Little Guy Racing parts, their new transmission. It's like the MB5424, something like that. That one, the way that it mounts the motor way off here to the driver's side. It's just going to be banging on these rails. Not that you can't cut it. Like I said, I'd love to see y'all cutting these things up, making things work. And let's see what the full capability of these things is. Because I mean, you could definitely do some trimming here and there, or maybe, you know, add some support elsewhere to help you out. But definitely feel free to do whatever you want to these things, man. Another key thing that people have asked me is, you know, what wheelbase. This is set up for a long wheelbase. It's, you know, it's meant for a more intense level of competition. This Joker is a Gladiator length right here. I do like the C-bolt option as well if you're not wanting that full super long length rig. I personally just where I crawl, they got a lot of steep stuff, so having the option of running it long is definitely what I've chose to do so far. Another thing that you could see on here and note is that my rear links look a little funny. I actually chose to run the lower high clearance links. These are in Jora, but I mean, you know, it's pretty standard across the board as far as the high clearance links go. If you run them backwards, I know it looks weird, however, not sure if you can really get in there and see that, it perfectly protects that drive shaft, keeps everything clear, and it follows that skid angle almost perfect there. So what that's going to do is when you're on a breakover, you just got all the way to back here before you're catching on those links, which is going to give you all that forward weight bias. Something else to note is I did want this to be something that, you know, you didn't have to go out and buy a ton of stuff if you didn't want to, or, you know, didn't have the means to, man. I get it. And so you've got this little piece down here. That is so you can mount a full stock skid on there. I'm running one of the K-Tech flat skids. Shout out to Kyle. If you haven't checked out his stuff, you are truly missing out. He does a fantastic job with anodizing, and he has anything and everything you could want for an SCX24. After talking to him, I do think he may be looking into some other options too, so keep your eyes out. And I mean, his QC process is just next to none. I've never received anything from him that wasn't spot on perfect. He actually told me the other day that he's never received a return. I don't know if there's another company that has made it as far as he has in this game that can say that. That right there, it speaks for itself. So definitely check him out. I will have my own skid for these offered very soon. Got a few more things we need to tweak on them before they're perfect and ready to rock. But his skids, man, if you're looking for something metal, I get it. A lot of folks don't like a printed skid. You know, it is what it is. Aluminum is going to be stronger. And ultimately, they're so close in weight, I don't think that that's necessarily going to matter either. The skid that I will offer will be specific to this chassis. So what it's going to do is it's going to allow your electronics to sit at that 90-degree angle rather than sitting forward like this. To be honest, I would almost argue that having it sitting forward is beneficial. It does lower the center of gravity. It's pulling everything down low. Depending on what motor you run, let's say you're sticking a seater in here, you know, it's a significantly longer one, maybe you put a BAM or something of that nature, faced forward. Depending on how you mount your links, your uppers may, you know, start to get in there and kind of cause concern. So having that skid that I'm going to offer will mitigate that problem. As you can see here, I mean, I'm at full bump right there, and it's not even close. So like I said, you'd have to have a pretty significant size motor in there, not to mention just how you mount your links is definitely going to have a lot to do with that. You can see I'm using one of the three options right here. It is the lower of the three, so maybe that's what's helping me a lot right there. But I mean, I'm not binding anywhere, not hitting, so you can kind of see there. You can see light through there. But yeah, so what else do we got? I chose to put this aluminum crossmember on here. I had it from another chassis. These are not included, but most of us do have them laying around. If you wanted to, you could do that. Maybe give you some more clearance up front. Maybe it's a little stiffer. Like I said, you can mix and match and try to play with it, see what you like, see what you don't. On this one, honestly, I think that I'm gonna take this back off and switch out to one of my cross members, just because I like how flat it is. It's gives another mounting option for whatever it is you may need. Definitely ready to see what all you guys come up with. A lot of people have asked me about the light, so I wanted this actually has kind of a funny story behind it. I was at a competition up there at Mountain Adventure and was running actually the prototype to the Orca for the very first time. Entered it in class 3, ended up taking third against a bunch of 18th scale rigs, so that was kind of cool. But what was even cooler than that, well, it wasn't cool at first. My lights that I had kind of rigged up there is just like a stock set of lights off of the Jeep. I took those and just kind of printed some little mounts for them and had them sticking out the side. It was real goofy looking, kind of looked like a bug. But anyways, they something had happened with them. They just quit working. I couldn't figure it out. And by the time class 3 started, it was dark. It was dark and it's an all black rig. It was super hard to wheel. Well, super awesome guy. He was actually in first place. I don't know that he wants to be named or not, so we'll keep that between us. But he was in first place. It was my second run, and here I am trying to take his spot, and he graciously came over with a headlamp on and lit up the whole trail for me the whole time. So shout out to another good dude out there in the micro community. You know who you are, and once again, that's just one of those things that I love about this community. That's why I wanted to start making parts. With that being said, I wanted to have a better setup for a light on the finished product of this. Now, it is a very small light in particular. I'm sure there's a few options out there. I haven't really checked on Temu or anything. You may be able to find it out there from China. This one in particular, shout out to Little Guy Racing Parts up here. They make great axles. I'm not running the Super 8s on this one, but I do have 2 other rigs that I run the Super 8s on, and they make a super solid axle. Definitely considering switching this one out, just seeing what it'll do on them. In the meantime, though, they do have this light that it's their smallest one they offer on the website. I don't remember exactly what they called it or what their claim as far as how wide it is, but I just know it's the smallest one on there. And I did end up, let's just see if we can get that clear. So I did put two little brass little shims, little washers, I guess you would call them, or spacers that I had. Just because it is just slightly smaller than the chassis, so if you don't have those, it pulls it in a little bit. It still works, but this just was a cleaner look. So I'm sure we all have little shims and stuff laying around. So definitely enjoy that. Super bright light. Haven't had any issues out of it. Let's see what else is there. And I've been running the 1.0s on here a lot just because I find it a little more challenging than running some of the bigger ones. As cool as those 1.8s look that I got from Mofo, shout out to them again. Those things are super sick, and sometimes they make it not as fun of a crawl. I mean, these 1.0s, man, they kind of level that playing field back out, and it does make it a little more of a challenge. And sometimes you can even argue that they make it a little easier, and because it's going to lower your center of gravity, it does help on a lot of the vertical stuff. Sometimes those 1.8s can hurt you, but for the most part, I'd say that those are an advantage. Definitely want to try some 1.3s. I've been working on some myself. Should be printing a set here soon, honestly, to test on it. But as far as that goes, you'll have to let me know if any of you throw some 1.3s on it off the bat. That'd be super cool to see. So trying to think if there's anything else, guys. Please feel free, message me on here, message me on Instagram, message me on Etsy, and check out the shop. I'm gonna have a few new products that I'm gonna throw on there and over the next few days. And then definitely, since, you know, if you stayed this long in the video, let's see, it's kind of tore apart, but sneak peek of what's coming is going to be this chassis. Now, super sporty. I love that super cut up cliffhanger. Oh, let's pop this off. So, I threw that on there. So what we're looking at, so this one here is just a printed prototype before we, you know, spend the money to actually have these cut. These will be made out of aluminum for sure, possibly titanium, we're gonna see. Also looking into some carbon fiber options for these as well. Super cool little rig. It did awesome during testing. Super cool. Will be, you know, class 2 compliant. I mean, for that matter, I want to see some of y'all throw a body on here. I threw one on here before, and by all means, I couldn't find a way that it didn't qualify for class 2 as long as your wheel and tire setup was right. This one here, though, super excited about it. Some of the guys who were out there this weekend got to see it in action and really enjoyed it. So that was a big positive. But as far as that goes, man, if you have any issues with the Orca, please reach out. I pride myself on customer service. That's what I do on my 9 to 5. So definitely hit me up and let's get something worked out. Overall, just want you to be happy with it. And, you know, if you don't mind, share this or share pictures of the Orca if you want. If you have it, tag me in it for sure. I'm super excited to see what y'all do with it. Y'all are always blowing my mind as far as, you know, where all y'all take things. It's incredible some of the stuff that our community has come out with. With that being said, guys, I don't have anything else to tell you about on it, man. It's been a blast, and follow on Instagram. You'll see some more actual shots of it in action, and talk to you next time. Appreciate y'all. Bye.